Elon Musk just lost more than $50 billion because that was what his compensation plan was in Tesla, where he would get this, I think it was $56 billion compensation package, depending on if he hit certain variables for Tesla's growth and stuff, which he did. So he should have got that money. And now his spot as the richest person in the world is at jeopardy. I think if he doesn't get this, he drops like the third richest. So not like he's falling off and going to become homeless or something. But basically, right here, you can see his $56 billion Tesla compensation has been voided by a judge, and the Tesla shares slide. So basically, what happened is a judge came out here and said this was an insane overpayment. It's ridiculous, and saying that the board of directors who gave this to Elon, who made this package for him, were people who were friends of Elon, and his brother, and Elon Musk himself was on the board. So there's not a lot of people who, you know, maybe a little bit biased in that room, and the shareholders weren't aware of that, is what the judge is saying. But at the end of the day, I think that if the shareholders, I'm pretty sure, voted like 80% supported this, and I think that, the shareholders wanted and voted for it and said yes. So I don't think that you should really overturn it. Sure, it's a ton of money, it's ridiculous, but also, when they made this compensation plan, Tesla like 10x since then. Like, Elon Musk did his job. He hit the quotas. He hit what he had to do. He grew the company. It exploded. So to say you don't deserve that is kind of weird. And I understand why people would look at that and say it's so much money. But at the same time, like, it had overwhelming support. But if we look down here, you can see this is kind of the judge here saying that the ruling that the company's board of directors failed to prove that the compensation plan was fair or show much evidence that they had even negotiated with him. So the judge saying it's not a fair plan, it's extremely overpaid. Shareholders weren't aware of what they were voting on, weren't aware that the board was close to Elon, because it was Elon Musk on the board, his brother, and people who were kind of close to him and friends, and people are saying they weren't aware of that. Honestly, Tesla shareholders like love Elon Musk. The Muskrats are out in full force, so I don't think they even really cared, right? I think they would have said yes to this and not really cared, because they just want Elon Musk and want him in Tesla and doing all of his things. So, but at the end of the day, I really do think that it's really weird to overturn this in just because the shareholders 80%, I'm pretty sure it's 80%, approved of this, wanted it, said it was a great thing, and went ahead with it. And he hit the quotas, he hit the things. Tesla stock exploded, the company grew, and he made $56 billion, which is a ton of money. But also, it would have been less if he would have been nothing if he didn't grow the company the ways he was supposed to do. And to just overrule this, even though it had overwhelming support, just feels weird. I can see, like, it's a ridiculous package. The board was close to people, but ultimately, like, the shareholders said yes, right? It wasn't even close. It wasn't like 50-50. It was 80%. Like, these guys wanted it. They wanted Elon Musk to stay with the company and grow Tesla. And obviously, in response to this, Elon Musk goes on Twitter and starts firing tweets out. He just basically tweeted this like article thing saying Delaware is trying hard to drive away corporations, because this happened in Delaware, which is supposed to be a business first, like, this thing running business, go by the contracts, and this kind of state here. This is why everything's incorporated in Delaware, because it's highly respected of business and contracts and that stuff. If you didn't know, Delaware is the state, I'm pretty sure, that forced Elon Musk to buy Twitter, because he said he would buy it. He put out that deal, he put out everything, and then when he tried to back up, Delaware was in a Delaware court where they went and said, you said you would buy it for this price, you have to go through with it. And now they're kind of saying, well, the shareholders said that they wanted this, but it just doesn't seem fair. So I could see both sides of it being kind of weird. And he also said, never incorporate your company in the state of Delaware. He's getting real upset about it and saying, I recommend incorporating in Nevada or Texas if you prefer shareholders to decide matters, which again, I think does matter, right? It doesn't matter what you really think of Elon Musk or not. If you love him or hate him, if you're a Muskrat or hate him, the shareholders at the end of the day supported this overwhelmingly. The board supported it, put it out there. He did what he had to do to grow the company. It exploded. It went up like 10x in value. It was doing great. So he did his part. The shareholders are happy. The shares went up in value. I don't think anyone really minds this pay package thing, except for the one person who I think this is coming from. And a lot of people are upset at him because I think he owns like 6 shares of Tesla, and he put this whole thing out there and kind of got this whole thing started. Which again, I guess it doesn't matter how many shares you own, if it's 1 share, 6 shares, or 1,000,000 shares. You're a shareholder, so you get to decide matters. But ultimately, if you only have 6 shares, your votes don't really matter, right? At the end of the day, you're not going to sway a vote one way or the other. But he's the guy who brought it up, and everyone's mad at him because Tesla stock also starts slipping here. We can see the chart here. Obviously, today down almost 2%, but Tesla in general, not been having a great time. We look at the month, year to date, same thing, pretty much almost down 25% in just this year, in 1 month. So Tesla has been having a tough start to 2024, a tough month, and this news is just making it even worse because people are kind of assuming Elon Musk is upset with this Tesla stuff, and ultimately his real passion isn't with Tesla. It's with SpaceX and Neuralink and Starlink and all those companies. He'd much rather focus his time on that than Tesla. So people might be worried that he's going to step away from Tesla if he does that. Like, Tesla's not going to collapse and go away and go bankrupt and have no future without Musk. But people will probably become more realistic with it. And instead of having these insane growth targets saying Elon Musk can hit him, if he's not there, they'll probably look at it more like a car company, and this valuation that Tesla has is probably going to work its way down. And then finally, he ran a poll on Twitter saying, should Tesla change its state of incorporation to Texas, home of its physical headquarters? And obviously, it's overwhelmingly yes. I don't really care. I voted in this just to see what the percentage was, but it's overwhelmingly yes. Over 1 million votes. I think even Texas governor came out and like retweet or quote tweeted this because he said it's overwhelming coming to Texas. So it's Elon Musk might be shaking things up. I do think this ruling is probably going to have effects across the board in business because Delaware has always been the state where it's business first. Your contract matters. What you say you're going to do is what you're going to do. If you go out there, you sign a contract, you say you're going to do something, and then you try and back away from it, they're going to tell you you have to do it. You said you're going to do this, you signed the contract, everything's good, you got to go through with it. So to come here and say, yes, you can have everything go the right way, the board can support it, the shareholders can support it, you can hit all the goals, but if we don't think that it's fair, we're going to take it back and throw it away and say, no. You couldn't possibly have decided this on your own. So ultimately, I do think it's weird. I think that the shareholders overwhelmingly supported it. Should just let it go, right? If shareholders supported it, what are you going to do? They're the people who vote, right? So if 80% said yes, it's yes, right? It doesn't matter. But well, I guess we'll see. We'll see if this ruling stays up. We'll see if it gets overturned. I don't know how these rulings work, if they can get overturned and appealed. But as of right now, Elon Musk lost $56 billion and his #1 spot as the richest person in the world. That's going to do it for this video. As always, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in my next